What's going on, guys? Oddball Reefer here, back at it with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about AquaChar. Let's get to it. So now we're going to jump into a little bit more information on AquaChar to my best knowledge. I wish I had like a little box to kind of hold here so I could kind of show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. But I think the box itself made its way to the recycling bin a little bit earlier than I anticipated. We're going to make do with a picture. And then I'm going to have a picture of the actual AquaChar itself as well here. I'm going to kind of cycle through some pictures here as I talk about the specific tanks that I'm talking about in this video. First things first, AquaChar, I am never planning on changing to a different biomedia / carbon. This product, I couldn't believe it. Like I heard so much about it before I even ended up getting my first little batch of carbon from them, or AquaChar, sorry. And once I used it, I could not believe the difference it made in my tank. Like, yeah, my tank was clear and all, but it was nothing compared to what it looks like now. And I'm talking about the Caribbean tank specifically. It is so crystal clear now, and it's not even funny. Like, the actual first initial AquaChar that I put in there lasted just about a month before I added a little more just to kind of keep up with it. And the thing with AquaChar is I am using the Two Little Fishies Phosband reactor out there. I have it in there. The AquaChar that is used can be kept in there and used as biomedia. So it pretty much lasts forever in the tank. This is kind of following up with my frequently asked questions about AquaChar. It can pretty much last your whole tank's life. Not saying you have to do that, but it can seriously, once it quote-unquote expires as your carbon, you literally even move to your sump and use it as biomedia. And I think that alone, especially for the price and the cost of constantly buying carbon and all biomedias and all that kind of stuff, it's this is a 2-in-1 scenario. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I can't believe it. And like I said, I still have the first initial AquaChar that I got. It is still in there, and it is still being used. It's probably being pretty much used as biomedia by now. But it's just amazing how long that stuff actually lasted, keeping the tank crystal clear. It was amazing. After I noticed that, I definitely wanted to get more, so I started using it in the little local tank with the Leptogorgias, Codium, and a bunch of other different species of macroalgae. I got a little video here playing for you. And that tank I was struggling with a lot because, I mean, it has Leptogorgia in it, which is an NPS coral, as well as Telesto coral and Stereotolesto and a few other species. That tank gets fed a lot, and it is a smaller tank. I do keep up with water changes on it to keep the parameters somewhat stable, but the AquaChar, believe it or not, it cleared that thing up to the point where it was crazy. I can take clear, focused pictures on the gorgonians and macroalgae now, just simply because the AquaChar is just keeping that water crystal clear. And I think that's just an amazing aspect, is just how clear and how it actually works. Because I mean, it's just so amazing that something like that can keep a tank like this so clear. Like I said, I'm feeding it pretty much 3 times a day just to keep those corals happy. And yes, it gets cloudy because you got quite a bit of food going into there, and it clears it right up. It's amazing. Another thing I want to mention, keeping AquaChar in a reactor is actually very beneficial, especially for me. I used to always, when I did carbon reactors in the past, I'd always get a whole bunch of detritus buildup. And it was just a major issue. I'll have a little picture here of kind of what I'm talking about. I really struggled with that. It was always super irritating because I'd always want to just take the reactor out and clean it, just because I like to keep my stuff as clean as I can. Not saying I'm going to go through and clean my sump every month, because that would not be a good idea, and don't do that, because you will strip all the beneficial bacteria out of your sump that's keeping your tank cycled. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. With the AquaChar, they're quite large pieces, so the actual detritus can filter right through it. It makes it real nice. Obviously, you're going to get a little bit, but not nearly as much as I was getting with other brands, which is spectacular. It makes my life a lot easier. Another tank I want to talk about is this specific tank behind me. This is my little don't quote me on this, I think it's probably like 30 gallons, if that. This is my frag tank. I got a lot of corals that I grow out in here, like zoanthids, gorgonians, spicularia that you see right there. This is the last and final tank I added to. Actually, I do have some in my freshwater tank as well. We're pretty much focusing on reef tanks today. So I want to talk about this specific tank. I was always struck, like, it's a smaller tank, so it's always harder to kind of keep parameters stable. So I keep up with water changes on this, doing them bi-weekly right now. Everything's doing really well, but I was always struggling with just a little hint of cloudiness, and I really wasn't sure why. So I did end up adding AquaChar to this tank, and as you can see, it's real clear behind me, and I'll show a little quick video of it here. Definitely one of my favorite tanks. All three of these tanks are my favorite, but it's so hard to choose them because I love that I'm able to grow corals like this, and I love that I'm able to keep local stuff and Caribbean stuff. I mean, it's just amazing. But back to AquaChar. I mean, like I said, like I've been saying this whole video, AquaChar is literally it is the best carbon product that I've ever used. And like I said, it's not even really carbon. You can use it for carbon, but you can use it for biomedia at the same time. I think that's one of the biggest wows to this specific product. It's like I said, it's amazing. Like the AquaChar that I'm using in this specific tank, the local tank over here, I can just leave it in there and add more and use the expired AquaChar for biomedia. I think that's a game changer in my humble opinion. Like, that's insane. Like, it saves you money from going out and buying a big brick or more rock to put in like the overflow system or your sump. I mean, takes up a little less space. You can even keep it in a bag if you want to, or however you want to like contain it. I mean, it's just amazing. There's a lot of different ways you can use a product, and I think that has a lot going for it. With that said, we'll definitely have more videos on AquaChar coming out here soon. I just wanted to get my opinion out there, and if you haven't tried AquaChar, definitely go try it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to be the fish and feed them corals. We'll see you next time.